Hi there. It's Friday night, and this is another episode of KJ's What Happened. This is covering the 30th of December through January 5th, and these are just kind of little things I pick up on and I notice. Weird bits, random bits, and then also pieces of the puzzle to the bigger picture. It's what my channel is what it has been, it's what I am. I love a puzzle. I like trying to figure things out. We're living in amazing times. We have been for a long time. I feel like 2012, something happened around 2012 where it really kicked it off. And it just started getting really, really crazy. Supernatural stuff, paranormal stuff, the reality of Illuminati symbolism, all that came out under Obama, under the last 8 years, under his presidency. I mean, I think there's a part of that plays in, but it's interesting. A lot's been revealed over the last really decade. 9/11 really started it all off. So a bit longer than a decade, but specifically this last, since 2012, it's just been really crazy. I mean, I've been doing this for almost 10 years, what I do, and that's trying to find the truth in every subject, not just one thing, but everything. And searching, with an open heart, an open mind. And I've never seen it this crazy. It's just, but you may say it's a sick side of myself. I don't think it is, but I kind of enjoy watching it. This is what I do. It's what a lot of us do, is watching the world, watching some of the craziness and reporting on it, really. But I'm rambling. This is what I do sometimes. Welcome to the show. I'm KJ Osborne. And let's just go ahead and get started. So this one right here actually happened, I think it was today, it was today, wasn't it? Let me see. It was a few days ago, sorry. But it caught me eye. Man found naked in tree after doing wasp spray dope. Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, a dangerous new drug has turned up in Lawrence County that has officials incredibly concerned following a disturbing incident before Christmas in which a man ended up naked in a tree and had to be tased down by authorities. Officials said Danny Hollis was high on wasp spray dope when he walked into a home in Lawrenceburg on December 18th and told the family inside that he needed help. The family, who was making Christmas cookies at the time, had never seen Hollis before, but he was quickly helping himself to a glass of water from their sink. He then allegedly took out a knife and cut himself across the throat. "You're bleeding all over our stuff, can you not?" said Kanan Johnson, who was home during the bizarre incident. Kanan said Danny Hollis then ran to the second floor of the family home where he proceeded to throw an oak dresser down the stairs. The falling dresser punctured a massive hole in the sheetrock above the stairs. Hollis's rampage, however, was not done yet. He then jumped out a second floor window, landing on a gazebo below and severely injured his neck. At this point, 16-year-old Kanan says the family had gotten into the car to call 911. As Hollis tried to chase the family down the street, he got stuck on a piece of barbed wire fence. This is like a movie. According to a police report, he then stripped down naked in order to free himself from the fence. Now, I've covered this. If you want to see some crazy stories, I put this out like over a year ago, right around the time the YouTube really started tinkering with people's views, and just prior to the adpocalypse, there was some weirdness going on back then too. And I feel like it didn't get many views. I think it may still be stuck on like 30,000 views or something. But I did a compilation where I showed all these examples of people going crazy, not just crazy in public, but getting naked. And then you start drawing connections to this. You look at the stories, and a lot of these people were actually growling like animals. Some of the police said these people had superhuman strength. And, I equate that to demonic possession, mass demonic possession. And a lot of times these demons get into these people through the drugs. The world blames the drugs. And I've shown in videos time and time again, you'll see a news story and they're just throwing it out there. It was drugs. Later they test this guy or this gal and they weren't on drugs. So there's a real thing happening here. But it's interesting how they almost always get naked. So anyway, And aside from that, if you're not into that angle on things, and you might not be, it's still pretty crazy what people will do to get high, isn't it? So right down here it says, by the time officials arrived, they found Hollis 6 feet off the ground in a tree completely naked. As officials tried to tase Hollis to get him out of the tree, he allegedly began throwing his own fecal matter at the officers. Oh, but it's just the drugs, people would say, right? They say he didn't remember any of it. How is that possible? Kanan wondered. It's likely possible because of a dangerous new drug known as wasp spray dope. Officials in Lawrence County said drug dealers are crystallizing wasp spray. Wow, that just sounds bad news bears, doesn't it? Crystallizing wasp spray, then using those crystals and mixing them in with meth. Wow. Ruh-roh. What else we got up in here? Welcome. When I do these shows, I can't really watch the chat, but I know I've always got a great chat going over there. I've got awesome moderators. So thanks to you all. Sorry I can't jump in there with you tonight. Like I said, I'll have a catching up show soon, KJ, where we can just kind of hang out and chat. But I know you guys are there. I appreciate you. And even if this isn't during a live show, if you're watching later, thanks for watching. Hey, thanks for watching. It's from InfoWars. Disgusting. Biggest newspaper in London publishes sex manual for kids. See how they're normalizing this? Newspaper pushes pedo porn in UK, takes down article after 120 million shares. Why you should buy your teenage kids sex toys. I'm not going to play this just in case of copyright, but the Metro UK Post then retracts an article called Why You Should Buy Your Teenage Kids Sex Toys. They didn't really say much more about it, but anyway, I guess it's all in the video. Like I said, I don't want to play the video, but we get it. Just more perversion, everything being flipped upside down. Truly the as above, so below paradigm. Everything being reversed. Just how Satanists do. If you know anything about Satanists, if you've ever done any kind of study into Satanists, not to be one, but to understand your enemy. It's my perspective. But when you study these things, that's why they have backwards writing, backmasking is a big thing. It's the reverse. It's the as above, so below. It's the opposite of what's normal, quote, normal, natural, or from God, Crazy times, Maine. I'm just going to do a random draw here because I don't know what story is what. These are just things I kind of put to the side throughout the week here. Let's see what this is. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Breaking Israel news from Breaking. Or was that? In case it's something different. Let's see here. Hope you guys can speak Spanish. I'm just going to put all this up in Spanish. Okay, I won't. But I thought this was interesting. Biblical hailstorm buries cars in ice in Biblian, Ecuador. Pictures and videos. Maybe we can watch one of these videos together. An apocalyptic hailstorm accompanied by heavy rains surprised the inhabitants of Biblian in Ecuador. January 2nd, 2018, at around 4 o'clock p.m., the most intense rainfall that has been recorded in years in the city. So let's see what happens here. Let's watch this together, shall we? If it plays. There we go. Something's happening. It's probably because I have 100 tabs open up there. But anyway, let's get some of this footage. I do want to watch some of this with you guys. Yeah, I've had people write to me and say I need to get an ad blocker. You're right, I do. That's coming soon. Okay, come on. Here we go. I hear noise. There it is. I see video. Right, there we go. I'm just going to jump through here. It's running kind of sluggish, but we get the idea. I mean, that's pretty intense. Buried up to the car, or burying cars. Crazy weather. What you gonna do? But anyway, there you go. Let's jump off of this one here. That video is kind of running kind of slow. What else we got? Just a random bit on this, and just kind of goes back to mainstream music, which, I really can't stand. And I was always that way, even in high school. I always liked, stuff no one else really heard of, and I didn't like it just because of that. I liked it back then and still do, because you find some of the best talent, the most creativity, and people that have never really made it to the mainstream. That's always been my kind of take on it. So, and I'm still like that. I mean, to this day, I find some of the best music, in my opinion, that I can find, even on YouTube. Really small, unknown bands. Like 200 subs. Stuff like this, and some of their music is just out of this world. So anyway, I'm not a fan of the mainstream music setup or news, but it really is all Illuminati. And that's what I was saying earlier, that a lot of this stuff really has come out over the last several years. This is it's been a phenomenon, and I feel like it's dying out now, hopefully, because again, everything works in cycles. I'd like to see another grunge cycle come through. That was those are some good years, I think, as far as creativity goes in music. There's a lot of really interesting, creative, good bands I felt coming out of the early 90s, and alternative. That's when alternative kind of went mainstream. But even then, I think that's one of my favorite bands of all time is a band called the Pixies. Broke through in the late 80s, early 90s, but never all the way. But I still love them. I listen to everything Frank Black does, and I think Kim Deal just put out a new album. But the old stuff's just incredible. And I know I'm rambling, but this is what I do from time to time. So I don't like this new music, the Illuminati music. So Taylor Swift's Reputation tour is a flop. Half-filled stadiums, thousands of unsold seats, 0 sellouts. Good news, as far as I'm concerned. Good news. More of this, please. More of this. I hope the new generation coming up will turn against all this garbage. Because it's not even that, even if you take out the Illuminati symbolism factor, the satanic sellout factor, and just see it outside of that, it's still garbage. A lot of it's auto-tune, not even hearing people's real voices. No real talent in the tracks. It's just tracks people are putting off on basically computers, just mixing tracks. Or the Eagles, right? Where's Creedence Clearwater Revival when you need them? Just throw out some old school great bands. But I mean, you just don't find music, like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, even the 90s. It all started kind of going, I feel, down the hill in the 2000s. Has continued down that slope. What else we got? Stuff. I cover Mother Goddess quite a bit in my videos. Arab Emirates bring pagan war goddess to the UN. The same multinational group that recreated the Palmyra Victory Arch and sent it on a world tour has now created a statue of Athena, the Greek goddess of war. For an exhibit, I keep this one, for an exhibit in the United Nations, an organization that claims to be working towards world peace, but which one rabbi likens to modern day paganism. So yeah, you can see it right there. Mother Goddess, it's the reemergence of the Mother Goddess worship. It's everywhere. I'm saving that one. I think I'm going to put this in a video along with some other stuff. So let's see here. Yeah, this was interesting. So I saw a commercial for this. All right. It's a company that'll create holograms for you. And this goes to the whole idea that, it's really hard to know what you can trust as far as what you see, especially on TV. Right? I mean, if they have a company that'll create holograms for you, here, I'll scroll down some and show you some of this. Can you imagine the kind of technology that's actually hidden from us? Like what next level is, which I think is, I'm sure, Project Bluebeam, at least, the very least, right? So let's see here. Let's see what this is.
Theater with a preview. Okay, that is creepy, Mario. That is creepy.
How crazy is this? I'm under attack right now. We've already seen Frank Sinatra, Billie Holiday, and now we're getting a look at T-Rexes and lions, tigers, bears, you name it. They can really project anything here onto stage for Hologram USA. So, David Nussbaum, I'm going to bring you in here. You're the VP, Senior Vice President of Ticket Sales.
Right.
Walk me through this. How do you guys make this magic happen?
Oh, well, this is just a CGI character. Obviously, this is not a real dinosaur, so nobody be afraid. But yeah, this is just built in a computer. Obviously, we just use old pictures that depict dinosaurs, and we rebuild what we think that it would look like on a stage.
This is amazing. So you're controlling this all from an iPad. Go ahead, switch it out. Let's see what else you can come up with.
That's an elephant.
An elephant. Yeah. There you go. So this is the world's only dedicated hologram theater, and it's on Hollywood.
So there you go. I won't play the whole clip, but you kind of get the idea. This is the whole altered reality thing. I mean, it's just hard to tell. So they have companies providing this service for you out in the open. It just makes you wonder, And again, I don't want anyone to think, oh my gosh, nothing's real. It's all an illusion. But I mean, things like this make you wonder, just how far they can take it, and it's why I always say in these times, we really have to use everything. Logic, reason, critical thinking, your common sense, and spiritual discernment. This is a very, very crazy time with stuff like this and fake news, right? Because they want this. It's the who's the author of confusion, right? What else we got? Satanic Suicide, tourist couple found dead on Greek island. A tourist couple found dead in a Greek guest house on New Year's Eve appear to have died by suicide during a satanic ceremony, according to local authorities. A 23-year-old Bulgarian woman who was reported missing by her family last June was found dead alongside a 30-year-old German man in a rented room in the village of Vlachata on the island of Kefalonia. The bodies were found on New Year's Eve by the owner of the property where they had reportedly been staying since December 26th. Knives, candles, and a satanic pentagram were found at the scene, leading police to believe the couple may have taken part in a satanic ritual. Duh. Well done, officers. Coroner. There's always these crazy names, too. So the coroner said in her report that the woman died first by cutting herself with a blade. The man then allegedly stabbed himself in the heart while in the bath. So here's the woman involved right here. And I guess that's all we get. All right, so creepy stuff. You dance with the devil, you're going to get burned, right? Right? What else we got here? From the Daily Star, world's hairiest teen girl reveals shock transformation after first shave. I thought this was kind of sweet and also a bit creepy. But let's take a look here. A girl officially named the world's hairiest teenager has shocked social media by unveiling pictures of herself after she started shaving. But she looks like a... I'll just scroll down here. Let's see. Don't really need the video. There's her picture. The teen suffers from Umbris syndrome or werewolf syndrome, which causes excessive hair growth. The condition is so rare that only 50 people in the world are known to suffer from it. That's crazy. There's the picture. Wild, huh? Wow. 50 people in the world are known to suffer from it. Just makes me wonder where stuff like this comes from, you know? Something obviously in the genetics, but just what happened? Where is that? It's not making fun of her. I feel bad for her, but I'll show you down here that she wound up shaving her face. That's not her, by the way. This is not her. It's a different picture altogether. Moving down. There she is. She's the one in the white dress, in case you're wondering, but that's what she looks like after she had a hairless face. So there you go. Much better, right? Much better. For her, it's got to be tough living life, you know, with that, right? So interesting, but I just wonder, not her, again, it's not her. There she is. Look at that. It's sandwiched between these, you know, kind of sexy photos. I'm sure that's all a part of what they do. And the programming on some of these websites, but look at that. Anyway, I thought I'd share that. Looking good, kid. So this one's kind of weird too. Thai penis whitening fad drives social media nuts. A Bangkok clinic that has drawn 100 men a month to its penis whitening service has caused a stir in Thailand. Sorry, there was an ad. Stupid ads. Come on, ads. A Bangkok clinic that has drawn 100 men a month to its penis whitening service has caused a stir in Thailand, with social media users both baffled and alarmed by the phallic fad. Oy vey. So there's a whole religion based on penis worship as well. I've covered this a lot throughout the years. In fact, even now we're seeing another reemergence of that. And we're seeing, I mean, you know, Babylon is here. Like we're seeing all these old mystery religions and all these Babylonian ideas and again right now, like so the Mother Goddess stuff, even the Illuminati type stuff, you know, connected with the highest level Freemasons and whatnot. And penis worship as well. You know, it goes back to Osiris. That's what the Washington Monument is. Also in front of a reflecting pool, which is the as above, so below paradigm. But, gosh, there's something I just saw recently. Oh, yeah, actually, I think I did this last week. They painted a huge penis in New York City. It was like a big story, a big deal. There's a Netflix series called Vandals, I think, about a guy that's obsessed with drawing penises on everything. I mean, it's just, you know, more and more of this stuff, right? So we see it in waves. I mean, I do, you know, and I believe that's part of the conditioning. You know, there's no coincidence with this stuff. The Lalix Hospital, renowned for its body whitening expertise in a country obsessed with skin color, began offering the unconventional treatment 6 months ago after a male customer complained of, quote, dark parts, rut-row, on his groin. Gross. These days, a lot of people are asking about it. We get around 100 clients a month, 3 to 4 clients a day. A manager for the company said the procedure, which uses laser whitening, got wide play on Thai television and social media on Thursday, January 4th, after the hospital released images of a man undergoing the treatment. We have to be careful because it's a sensitive part of the body, Punita said, adding most clients were aged between 22 and 55 years old, with many from Thailand's LGBT community. The same hospital stirred controversy last year for touting a cosmetic procedure called a, quote, 3D vagina, in which the customer's own body fat is used to make a genitalia more plump. Plump. It's a fun word to say. Plump. It's plump. But it is kind of creepy what they're doing. The whitening service costs around $650 for 5 sessions. So there you go, guys. And just people putting a lot of attention on things that don't matter, really. I mean, it's my opinion. Oh, everyone's getting a different opinion. I get it. But it's like, really, you know, whiten your wiener for $650. Like, it really matters that much. Anyway, moving on. No wiener whitening over here. I'm just saying. Now, this next story comes to us from Breitbart. Just throwing this out there, CBS News Political Director is the 52nd member of elite media accused of misconduct. So I just threw this in just to keep you up to date on what's happening with this. I guess you can call it the Me Too movement, but there's so much more. Again, Mother God is connected with this. I've shown this in some videos as well. Matriarchy, patriarchy, toxic masculinity, all this, right? But up to now, there's 52 peeps that are getting called out for this stuff. So that's great. As far as I say, bust them all, right? Bust them all. This is not going to end anytime soon. There's going to be more of this, I'm sure. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, I just want to throw that in there. Let me go here. And let's mix it up with a video here because I want to show you something. Let me turn that volume down. And I've used Third Phase of the Moon a few times. Again, no knock on these guys. Like, back in the day, they did a lot of hoaxy type videos, in my opinion. All right, but occasionally they get some pretty good stuff. They even have people now. They're so big now that they have people actually sending them live footage, things they've shot. So I have used them a few times. I use my discretion with this YouTube channel. Again, no offense if any of them are listening or fans are listening, but you have to. Like I said, there's some kind of iffy things they put out there regardless. However, when they get it right, I like it. And I feel like they got it right on some of these. Now, this just happened recently, the last few days. I'm going to be actually a lot of the things I show you I'm putting together in a bigger video I'm doing on disclosure. I've been working on this thing for a couple of weeks, but there's so many sightings coming out now, it's just insane. But anyway, we'll watch a little bit of this. I'm talking a lot, aren't I? Something similar to this happened in Colombia recently as well. But look at that. This ain't normal. These ain't your grandpappy's UFOs, right? So what else we got here? I think that was about it on that one. We got some other videos I'll be showing here in a while. Some other UFO type videos. And looks like we may have frozen up right here. Let's see what's going on. Froze up there just for a second. Here's one from Tech News. Tech giant is rolling out new robots to replace workers in hotels, airports, and supermarkets. The post-human existence. Where are all the people going to be, right? I sometimes feel this is setting us up for that Mark of the Beast reality, the stuff we've seen in Revelation. So the people with the mark, maybe they'll be on a universal income, maybe it'll be a mix. I'm not sure. But with all the other people gone, missing or being killed, something or someone, in this case, something is going to have to take place of those jobs. And it's just kind of, I'm throwing that off the top of my head. I just wonder sometimes if that's kind of what we're seeing here. A Korean tech giant on Thursday announced new robots that take aim squarely at the jobs of many service industry workers around the globe. There have long been predictions that advances in artificial intelligence and automation could end up eliminating millions of jobs over time. And tech companies have been testing robots to carry out a variety of tasks, from working in a pizza parlor to making deliveries that could greatly affect the services industry in the future. For its part, LG Electronics is the latest company that is planning to sell robots to solve tasks currently completed by humans. I mean, it's right here in front of our face, guys, right? On Thursday, LG said it will showcase 3 new concept robots at the Global Consumer Electronics Show CES in Las Vegas next week. Those robots are designed for commercial use at, here's your jobs, folks, hotels, airports, and supermarkets, according to the company. An LG spokesman later told CNBC that the robots are still concept products and that they are a long way from ready to go to public. And that's good news. But they're coming. The first one is going to be a server robot that can deliver food and drinks to customers at hotels and airport lounges. It can essentially replace the work done by the waitstaff and be able to do it around the clock. Second is a porter robot that can handle check-in and check-out services at hotels and carry luggage to rooms. The hotel industry is already experimenting with replacing humans with machines. For example, there are hotels in Japan that are staffed by robots already. Finally, LG's third new robot is made to work with customers at a supermarket, telling them the price of products and then guiding them through the aisles. If popularized, such technologies would likely be bad news for many of those working in the service industries. So there you go. They're taking our jobs. Remember that? A few years back, it was like the Mexicans are taking our jobs. You know, look how far we've come. You know, the robots are taking our jobs. I'm going to stop doing that right now. Elgin man told to stop slumber parties for homeless during cold. So I thought this was just kind of a bummer. Let's go on down here and read some. A suburban Chicago resident who is offering up slumber parties in his basement for homeless people in his neighborhood during dangerously cold weather says city officials have given him an ultimatum. Stop the slumber parties or the house will be condemned. Greg Schiller of Elgin said he began... Oh, here we go. Greg Schiller of Elgin said he began letting a group of homeless people sleep in his unfinished basement last month during brutally cold nights, offering them food, warm beverages, and a cot to sleep on while watching movies. I would stay up all night with them and give them coffee and stuff and feed them, he said, adding that no drugs or alcohol were allowed inside his residence during the evening events. Last winter, Schiller offered up his garage to area homeless, but said he was told he could no longer do so after EMTs were called to help a man with a heart condition. That's when he had the idea to move them to his basement, complete with all the activities needed to consider them simply, quote, slumber parties. I think that's a good move, right? I mean, here's a guy who's he seems to be trying to do right? Trying to love his neighbor, trying to be good to people who are less fortunate. Schiller believed city code allowed for slumber parties, but officials said there are sleeping regulations for basements, and Schiller's basement doesn't meet those requirements. So basically, he says, they shut me down and said I have 24 hours to return my basement to storage and take down. I have several cots with sleeping bags for everybody, or they'll condemn the house. Center confirmed that Schiller was given 24 hours to clear the basement in an emailed statement, adding, if not, the city will take additional enforcement action of the unlawful basement sleeping area. Wow. Schiller said he hosted his, quote, slumber parties when wind chill values were 15 degrees or less, but would not offer up the basement if the emergency shelter was open. It's cold enough to freeze to death, he said. Elgin has lawful shelters that provide a safe space for people to go throughout the year, Center said in a statement. In times of extreme temperature, temporary locations open with the community that all conform to regulations and codes. Anyway, we get the gist. Government putting the hammer down. Dudes trying to do the right thing. Trying to help those less fortunate. And the beast system will not let that happen. In that case. So I did a video probably about a year ago about flying humanoids. You know, I like a lot of different subjects. I'm into a lot of different things. And there's so many sightings of these things. It's crazy. I did a compilation video just a while back. But anyway, there's a new sighting here in Phoenix of a flying humanoid. So I'm going to keep the volume down, but I'm going to play the video and just check this out here for yourself. I'll make a big screen here for a little bit. Pretty crazy, right? Let's see what else we got here. Like I said, I wouldn't share this if this was just a one-off, but people have been seeing what they describe as these flying humanoids in the sky for a very long time. As I said, I've covered this subject in the past myself, but it's pretty weird, you know? Somebody in a suit, it would be a being, a witch. Burn the witch. Anyway, I want to share that with you real quick. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, so this one's going to be a little different. I'm not into the false left-right paradigm. I mean, if anything, I would be leaning to the right, obviously, on basically everything. But I've got some kind of leftist views here and there, very few. But if anything, you know, I mean, my basis for truth is the Bible. Now, saying that, again, I'm not trying to say I'm better than you or anything like that. I'm still learning. You know, I'm still learning all the time with this. You know, that's my basis of truth. Is the Bible. I don't look to Republicans or Democrats or anything like this. Even with the Bible, I read every day. I've been doing that for quite a while now, and I still try to understand it for myself. I'm no preacher, anything like that. I'm not religious, but that's where I go to find my truth. And I am ex-military, so I was hardcore conservative most of my life. So, you know, those are more my views than anything left. I'll just say that. However, there's this girl, Lauren Southern, that she's on Louder with Crowder, does a lot of stuff there. I believe she's been on Alex Jones' show a few times, but she's considered kind of like the young, hot chick, you know, for the quote alt-right or just for conservatives. So a lot of people that follow her have been raising real stink about this video. People have been talking about this here lately. I think it's from a while back, but still, it's Lauren Southern sleeping with a quote tranny. So let's see what happens here.
Hey guys, we drank and ate too much, and now we're little piglets. we're drunk and fat, and we want to just watch Internet Aristocrat and sleep. Bye. Bye, racists, misogynists, fascists, white supremacists. I like that. It's like our little jingle. Every other YouTuber is like, hey kittens, hey cuties, hey honey. Peace, misogynists. Shit lords. Okay.
Anyway, I wanted to share that. Like I said, I've seen this in some forums and some people have been really fussing about it, but make of it what you will. You can look up Lauren Southern if you're not familiar. Like I said, she's kind of in that same like genre of like a Milo. Like I said, she's on Steven Crowder. So I guess what a lot of SJWs call the alt-right. You know, she's considered one of them. But anyway, a lot of people are very off-put by this kind of weird video. So, of course, I needed to share with you, right? This thing's really cool. It's also kind of crazy. Another example of how, you know, we're like literally living in some kind of a movie, because we've seen this in movies before. And now it's becoming a reality. Police in Dubai are testing actual hoverbikes, and they basically look like stormtroopers on speeders. So there's a picture. There might be a little video here. Go check this out. A little video of it. All right, check it out. Oh, great. But first, a JCPenney's ad. Let's skip that. Boots for $25. Watch this. Crazy stuff, right? The 999 too. Interesting. Let's share that with you guys. What else we got here? Teenage girls describe the brutal pressure from boys to text nude photos and the threats and harassment if they refuse. A study from Northwestern University analyzed comments posted on MTV's website A Thin Line, a site aimed at preventing online sexual abuse. Of the 462 comments examined, 2/3 of the girls aged 12 to 18 said they had been asked by a boy to send nude photos. A majority reported being pressured, threatened, or harassed by boys if they did not comply, and only 12 cases reported no backlash for saying no. Of the 20% of girls who admitted to sending photos, none said they felt relief or benefit from doing so, leading to low self-esteem. And, this has been happening for a long time now as sexting, right? It's like people sending their naked pictures to one another. Not a good idea, because a whole industry was born out of that, which is called, quote, revenge porn. There's actually sites out there which will take these pictures that you sent your loved one. Once you guys break up, someone gets mad at the other one, and they'll post these pictures up to different sites. This is what they do. And it's sick. And it's beyond bullying. But anyway, I figured I'd share that. Researchers analyzed 462 comments posted from 2010 to 2016 on MTV's website A Thin Line, a site aimed at stopping the spread of sexual abuse in the form of sexting and cyberbullying. The comments revealed the confusion and internal battle teen girls experienced when asked to send nude photos and the different tactics boys used to coerce the girls into sending them. Teenage girls know the potential risks and are disciplined to do it, yet they continue to share the images anyway, said study author Sarah Thomas, a doctoral student in human development and social policy. They struggle to say no. Only 8% of the stories showed a desire to send photos. However, they justified sending explicit photos because of a desire to please or avoid negative consequences from young men. Anyway, for those of us that were that age without internet or phones, this is just such a trip. Not to date myself, but when I was that age, we didn't have iPhones. You couldn't access the internet on a phone, or in general, we didn't have the internet. So it's just crazy. It's like a whole new level, a whole new form of bullying and manipulation. Crazy stuff. So moving on. NYPD investigating celebrity photographer Terry Richardson over sex assault allegations after ex-model claims he forced her to perform oral sex on him during photo shoot. So I did a video a while back, and honestly, I can't even remember what the title is, but the picture on the thumbnail picture is Terry Richardson with a camera over one eye. This dude's bad news, and he's been around the industry for a long time. And let's see what else we got here. I'll just show you a few things. This is an Illuminati puppet, if ever there was one. Images. Well, right there, to begin with, there he is with Hollywood and the elite's favorite witch, Marina Abramovic. Right there. There's the picture I used. I was talking about. There's him with Jared Leto doing the old 666 over one eye, right? Jared Leto again doing the devil horns with him. Here he is with a baby. Creepy. A lot of these are his photos I'm sharing. The all-seeing eye, of course. Another one of his pictures. It's all the, it's all the Illuminati stuff. Mind control, the symbolism. But this is what that dude's all about. Creep-tastic. So if they're busting him, that's awesome. You know? Good. Bust him. Here's another UFO video. New Zealand. Check this out. I'm pretty sure in this one they formed the pyramid once again. The orbs are the UFOs I always focus on, but it looks like they're doing the pyramid again. This is all going to be covered in my newest video about this. And again, I've covered that subject for years. I have a whole playlist on a demon alien deception. So if you haven't seen that, please check it out. But there they are with the pyramid again. I believe these are the fallen ones. These are demonic entities. And that's a mockery of the Holy Trinity. That's the way I've always seen it personally. You don't have to see it the way I do, but I thought that was interesting. The video is 333. So there you go. Just a little bit right there. More and more sightings all over the place, it seems. Let's see what this is. Skip that ad. Robocop. This is real. They've actually created a robot police officer. I mean, you know, in a year from now, sun symbolism, black sun, Saturn, okay. But in a year from now or so, just imagine like how much more advanced things like this are going to be 2 years from now, 5 years from now, if we're still here, you know, how crazy stuff like this is going to get. Look at that. So it begins, right? Even the coppers are going to be losing their jobs. Just more perversion. How much more this is out there now. Oh, actually, you know what? Kinky competitor to Airbnb lets travelers rent out dungeons. It's a really old story. So I'm not sure. I think I may have put that in because I'm putting this in with a compilation of other stories. But there might be another story up here in the news that has to do with this. But anyway, while we're looking at it, Airbnb can get you a cheap deal in a room, but it's a lousy place to find a sex dungeon. So says Darren McKeeman, the San Francisco-based co-founder of Kink B&B, a sex-positive alternative to Airbnb. This is from a while back. So look at that. I'm not trying to be a Puritan here, but really, this is, look at this. Total debauchery, total perversion. And just one example of this kind of stuff. Becoming more normalized. And this is from a few years ago. You would book that. You booked that for the weekend? Crazy. Anyway, I'll move on. This is another older story. Again, I see why I threw these in. I'm working on a video with some of this. You'll see a lot of the videos that I talk about on these shows. Not a lot, but a few. In compilations of bigger videos I do on YouTube from time to time. But I think I've covered this already. Here are some dudes who live their lives and sometimes bone gross as puppies. I just read that. You disappear, you start chasing puppy toys, and people give you ear scratches. But look at this guy. Just another example of the confusion. You know, reality being flipped on its head. People literally losing their minds. What else we got here? Chilling website correctly predicts record-breaking amount of celebrity deaths in 2017. The death list 2017 shows 50 celebs of infamous figures who it thinks will die over the year. The stars picked tend to be in their 80s or 90s or are suffering ill health. It got 17 deaths right this year, including Bruce Forsyth, Hugh Hefner, and Ian Brady. The site shockingly described the Moors murderer as an all-around Mr. Nice Guy. I don't know who that is, Moors murderer. At the time of publishing, it also falsely predicted the demise of others, including Robert Mugabe, Kirk Douglas, and Prince Philip.
Certain stars that won't do what we want. What's their problem? They're still alive.
Stop that. So anyway, I want to throw this in there. I think it's interesting. The website has made some predictions that have actually landed. Might be a weird website you want to check out. Explaining its rules, Death List 2017 states candidates must be famous enough such that their death is expected to be reported by the UK media. Candidates cannot be famous solely for the fact they are likely to die in the near future, and only 25 candidates can reappear from the previous year's list. 2016 was billed as the year of the celebrity death by some, and although Death List 2016 started strongly, it hit a very lean period from June to November and ended with a final score of 12, 2 below the all-time record of 14. All right. Fair enough. World Chess Championship outraged by risque championship logo. I just want to share that. Look at the logo. Really? The unusual depiction of tangled limbs has been criticized by a chess champion for being unsuitable for children. The organizers of the World Chess Championships, however, appear to think otherwise. This is most people consider chess more of an intellectual than a physical pursuit. For the Championships 2018 match, the organizations attempted to embody the adventurous positions, imaginative progression of moves, and intense one-on-one concentration that are the hallmarks of success in chess. And to make the point, they have chosen an upfront logo depicting a pair of chess players whose tangled limbs suggest an interest in something other than a mentally taxing board game. Whoa. It's the World Chess Championship new logo. It's a little much. I don't know. I've never played chess like that. I'll be honest with you. Maybe I'm the weird guy. Maybe it's normal. Me no understand. But I've never interlocked legs with another player while playing chess. For the record. Christian ex-convent schoolgirl is selling her virginity in online auction after her boyfriend cheated on her. Bailey Gibson, 23, grew up sheltered in a home with strong Christian values, attending a strict all-girls boarding school. That's her. A former Christian convent schoolgirl says she's selling her virginity after she gave up on waiting until marriage following a heartbreaking split. Bailey Gibson is taking bids from men around the world, saying she wants to lose her virginity in the most profitable way possible, and defending her decision from critics. Sex with the 23-year-old is being auctioned through the Moonlight Bunny Ranch brothel in Nevada, which has become famous for publicity stunts and its celebrity clientele. Bailey revealed she grew up sheltered in a home with strong Christian values, attending a, quote, strict all-girls boarding school in her teens. She was planning to have sex for the first time on her wedding night, but realized that her cheating ex-boyfriend wasn't worth waiting for, and neither was marriage. Bailey, who has described herself as a bona fide virgin, quote unquote, has written a blog post explaining why she is selling her virginity through a legal brothel and addressing critics who say the stunt will make her a prostitute. She wrote, I grew up nestled in a gated community in the suburbs of Sacramento, California. I was adopted when I was 1 year old and grew up with very strong Christian values. Apparently not, but still. Very strong Christian values, as my adoptive father was an elder at our home church, which means nothing. I grew up very sheltered. I was not allowed to watch TV, listen to any music other than the Christian music, and have friends over or have sleepovers, ever. If we did watch a movie, it was on the Hallmark or Disney Channel. See, that'll mess up your mind right there. If we were allowed to watch TV, we were allowed to only watch programs like Little House on the Prairie. I remember sneaking and watching Carmen Sandiego cartoons in Hannah Montana with my sister. Bailey said her parents sent her to the girls-only Christian boarding school in Stockton, Missouri. When she was 16, she had no contact with boys while she was there. She wrote, needless to say, the lack of male company and deep religious study contributed to me becoming an adult virgin. We'll leave it at that. We get it. We understand. We understand. We get it. Strong Christian values. Even these stories, I wonder. I wonder. But bad news bears for this one, you know? Selling your body out, making money off letting people enter you, you know? Not good. My opinion, but not good. So, you can just do you. Boy, 10, founds a drag club for kids so they can express themselves in a, quote, positive, encouraging, and safe space. Polis from Brooklyn and New York City is better known by his drag name, Desmond is Amazing. They're destroying the purity and the innocence. I mean, this is just a manifestation of how far along I think we are in the beast. It's my opinion. Desmond is amazing. He started dressing up as a toddler and began wearing dresses at age 6. He has since appeared in a music video with RuPaul. And his performance at Gay Pride in New York in 2015 went viral. He's an active member in the LGBTQ community. Desmond now wants to inspire other young people and promote anti-bullying and suicide prevention. He's launching House of Amazing, a drag club for drag kids. Get me off this rock, Jesus. I'm done. Please. He also hopes to have a fashion and cosmetics line in the future. Drag clubs are nothing new in New York City, but it took a 10-year-old to dream up the first drag club for children. The first drag club for children. Desmond from Brooklyn and New York City is better known by his drag name Desmond is Amazing. Though still quite young, he first expressed an interest in dressing up in drag as a toddler and has become somewhat of a celebrity on the drag circuit. God save these people. Save them. Most of them don't even want to be saved, though. And he's convinced that there are more kids out there just like him. So now the precocious youngster is launching House of Amazing, the first and only drag club for kids where no adults are allowed. And that's him. A 10-year-old child. 10-year-old little boy. Right there. Jeepers. Yeah. Oh boy. We get it, right? We get it. Oh my gosh, this is so effed up. Inside Silicon Valley's secretive, orgiastic dark side, some of those power are regulars at exclusive, drug-fueled, sex-laced parties. Gatherings they describe not as scandalous or even secret, but as a bold, unconventional lifestyle choice. Yet while the guys get laid, the women get screwed. In an adaptation from her new book, Brotopia, Emily Chang exposes the tired and toxic dynamic at play. Hive. Of course, it's from the hive, right? The hive mind. But again, more debauchery. These people have so much money in Silicon Valley, they don't know what to do with it. And they spend their time just chasing pleasure. About once a month, hey, I'll just say this, I'm no bet. We've all had our moments with just chasing pleasure, but I'm saying I haven't done that. You know, there's limits for some people. But a lot of these people at the top of the pyramid, again, have all the money they could ever want, and they choose a life of just, you know, bohemian life or just chasing pleasure. About once a month on a Friday or Saturday night, the Silicon Valley technorati gather for a drug-heavy, sex-heavy party. Sometimes the venue is in an epic mansion in San Francisco's Pacific Heights. Sometimes it's a lavish home in the foothills of Atherton or Hillsborough. On special occasions, the guests will travel north to someone's chateau in Napa Valley or to a private beachfront property in Malibu or to a boat off the coast of Ibiza. The stories I've been told by nearly 24 people who have attended these events or have intimate knowledge of them are remarkable in a number of ways. Many participants don't seem the least bit embarrassed, much less ashamed. On the contrary, they speak proudly about how they're overturning traditions and paradigms in their private lives, just as they do in the technology world they rule. Like Julian Assange denouncing the nation-state, industry hotshots speak of these activities in a tone that is at once self-congratulatory and dismissive of criticism. Their behavior at these high-end parties is an extension of the progressiveness and open-mindedness, the audacity, if you will, that makes founders think they can change the world. If these are the people who are trying to change the world, and they believe that their entitlement to disrupt doesn't stop at technology, it extends to society as well. Few participants, however, have been willing to describe these scenes to me without a guarantee of anonymity. So there you go. And check out that article if you like. From the Hive. I'm curious to see how they're going to portray this. There's not a documentary, I guess kind of a movie coming out about Waco, the Branch Davidians. If you guys heard about this or not, let's see if it talks about it here. There it is. Truth and Lies, Waco. It's a documentary. It's going to be on ABC. It'll be very interesting to see how honest they are and to see how they cover that whole situation. And that's before a lot of your times, okay? This whole case that happened with David Koresh in Waco. Like 93, right? It's early 90s, but yeah, 93. But check it out. And if you never heard about this, look into it. Very interesting case. Again, not everything's always black and white. There are things he did that were really weird and creepy, I think, but there's a lot of things the government did that totally crossed the line. Talking about Janet Reno. So I'm going to be watching this, though I'm pretty sure, since it's coming out from ABC, it's going to be tilted more towards, in favor of the government. We'll see. So I figured I'd bring that to your attention in case you didn't know that was out there. I think we already saw that one earlier. It looks like pretty close to the end. I think we are at the end. Real Life X-Files, former MOD UFO investigator reveals what they know and how close the sci-fi show is to the truth. I'm not sure what to think about Nick Pope. I wanted to share this just because the X-Files came back. They had their the new season 11, started a few days ago. I've watched this for years, and when it was out originally, I used to love it. Still love it. Changed a lot, but I'll be doing a bigger video. That's one of the videos coming out on my channel is going to be about the X-Files, a bigger video, because there's a lot of interesting things going on with that show and things they've revealed. So, but like I said, I think the first episode of this season was kind of weak. I went online. It looks like other people feel the same way. Hopefully it'll change, get a little bit better, but they're still revealing a lot of very interesting things in there. So it's been about a good hour. Wasn't a lot of news this week, to be honest with you. Maybe it's because it was the holidays. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go ahead and jump over here to the chat real quick and just say hi, guys, and see how you're doing. Mia's here. Mia, thanks for being here once again. Effie, I got some great mods. Guys, thanks for being here, man. I wish I had more for you, but I got a lot of work to do. I got some videos to finish up. I'm still kind of waiting on pieces of the puzzle to fall in for some of these things. But we'll see you next week with another KJ's What Happened. Hope you liked it. Thanks once again for being here, man. You guys are awesome. I got more videos coming up this week, more videos on my website coming as well. And until then, you guys take care. God bless, and I'll talk to you next time, okay?